Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of Prison Architect with me, Spaghettikid. So, last episode we'd got quite a lot of things sorted. I think we got the common room and a couple of other rooms finished off. And we also put down some more cell blocks, and these are all now completely full of everything they need to be a functioning cell block. So, now I think I'm going to be sorting out the workshop. So before I do it doesn't really matter which order I do it particularly, but I'm just going to quickly put some cables in here, just because I know they'll be needed, and I'm also going to put the pipe in because we might as well be doing jobs. So if I put these in, the workers will have something to do. Okay, so I'm going to be sorting out the classroom. So the classroom's down here. Now, if you go into objects, it tells you what you need. So you need an office desk and school desks, and I think you also need chairs. Oh no, sorry. You don't need chairs because they have already got the right things. So I'm gonna put an office desk right at the front, and I'll also put a chair there. So that's where the teachers are obviously going to be sitting. And I'm going to get school desks, and I'm going to do a couple of rows of these, I think. That should be okay for now. And they'll all get installed eventually. I'll always speed up time, so we're actually playing the game at a good speed. So the classroom is fairly simple. It does only need a school desk and an office. Well, it needs school desks and office desks. And what this will allow is we can then go into the the programs, and you can then have different induction or different educational programs, and they can be education programs where people will literally get taught education things, or they can be workshop inductions, which is a new thing they've added. I think in the previous. So in Alpha 18 they added you have to have training in order to work in the workshop, which makes a lot of sense, since before you could literally just work in there with no training. So these prisoners, maybe high risk prisoners, medium, whatever, they're in jail and they're suddenly working in this huge heavy machinery without any practice or anything like that. I'm just going to go to objects and get a serving table. I'm going to put another serving table in here, just because at the moment we've only got 4 areas for the food to be placed. So they're now installing everything in the classroom. So now we have a workshop to build, but I generally take my time with the workshop because you've got to kind of figure out how things need to be laid out. So a workshop of this size, the optimal size is 240 meters squared. So I think I did mine as 12, in internal size of 12, so it's actually 14 because you've got the wall and the wall. And then I did it 20 blocks long internally, so 22 long this side. And I'm going to go to rooms and workshop. I'm just going to designate that as this. So now if we go to deployment, jobs, it says maximum jobs 20. So that's really good because we want 20 prisoners. So there's going to be a couple of things we're going to want in here, so I'll just zoom in and it highlights them. So we want tables, workshop saws, workshop presses, carpenter tables. Now at the moment we're only going to want workshop saws and workshop presses, because you need to have lots of trained prisoners, well, not lots, you need to have better training, and there's no point having carpenter tables at the moment. So, seeing as you need 1 workshop saw per workshop press, I'm going to have a workshop saw next to workshop press. The lights in here are okay, but I'm going to actually sort them out first, just so they're a bit neater, because I like them like that. So I'm probably just going to put them 3 blocks in, and that should be perfectly fine. So the classroom's done. So now we can technically start lots of these different different courses. So the kitchen safety one is required if you want any prisoners to work in your kitchen. I generally don't do that, I'll just hire more chefs. But hopefully it should be okay. So what I'm going to do is put these lights back in, just so they're slightly more symmetrical. So if we do 4 there, yep, that works. Okay, there we go. So we've got some lights in and they look a little bit nicer laid out like that. I'll do that at a later point. So if we have a quick look at needs, we can see everything's green, something's orange. Sorry, yellow. Nothing's orange though, which is really good. If things are orange, there is a chance people will start rioting. Effectively, if you want to have a really good prison, you want to have things green, because that means they're satisfied of all of that need. If it's yellow, it means they need to have it, but they're not going to get angry about it. If it's orange, they're going to get a little bit stroppy and angry. If it's red, it means they're probably going to start having a little argument about it. However, I'm just going to change that around a little bit. They've got their shower time coming up, so even though they're even though they've got a big hygiene need because they're asleep, as soon as they wake up, they're all going to go and have a shower straight away. So that should be okay, but it is generally quite a bad thing. You'll notice it doesn't say the danger level's high, even though that's a giant red bar of like 11, 12 people that are really in need of showering. They do have a shower before bed, so it's a bit confusing. Maybe we'll put the shower here instead, because that seems a little bit more spread out. If you have 2 shower slots right next to each other, they may shower here, and then in free time they can also have a shower. So, yep, hygiene's gone all the way down now, so they've had that shower. Now it's free time, so they're all ringing family and doing things like that. So we should get quite a lot of their needs all okay. Anyway, back to building the workshop. Okay. Okay, so we want workshop saws, so I'm just going to put a workshop saw in there, and I'm going to put workshop press. I'm going to put that workshop saw here, just so there's a little space so people can walk around a little bit better. I'm also going to straight away put a metal detector on the door. It's always really important to have metal detectors on the workshop because there are lots of tools that can be stolen. If you go to contraband, it will show you all the different things, and they can get drills, hammers, screwdrivers, tools. You notice the kitchen's only really got forks and spoons, which aren't that much of a problem. Staff room, they shouldn't be going in. Shouldn't be that door actually. We'll just quickly go to deployment, and we'll make sure everything's set to be the right things. So we want the workshop is all okay, canteen, kitchen and staff room, all the offices. So now contraband, the only places we're really worried about, we also need to find somewhere for this thing. The only places we're worried about are things like the kitchen and visitations, also a really big supply of luxuries and narcotics. But we should be okay. So we need electricity, so you can see we've got utilities going in there, but we're going to want to put a cable here just to connect that up. And since we're going to have 20 people working, we will need some people to carry things around. So hopefully, let's get rid of this. Hopefully we'll be able to fit everything in. So we've got room for 20 people, so I think we should be able to get away with 16 sets of tools. So I'm just going to put in some more saws. So if if I put them like that, I'll be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. So I'll do a space of 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll put some, sorry, not counters, workshop press. Put some more of these in. Now, we've only got 12, which isn't as many as I would have liked, but we should be okay. I'll just put some of these cables in. And we're also going to need some tables. So the tables they use to store materials, as well as do that. So they store the materials they require to build things, and also they store the product. However, I have found, not really sure what happened there. Hang on, I'll just quickly pause it. I think it was contraband. Have a look in the reports as well, just to check. Well, this is something I'm going to need to fiddle around with. So we haven't had any serious incidents, so that's quite good. That's where a lot of our money will be coming from. So we can go to bureaucracy, and we should be able to go on tax relief, which should give us more money over time. So it will reduce our tax rate. So I'm quickly going to get that, and that should mean we can. I'll also get that as well. Tasers. Tasers is really useful for preventing your staff from getting injured. Okay, so I'll just speed up time a little bit. Okay. So we've used quite a lot of money then, but we have got a lot of money coming in. So now we've got the workshop sorted. Once all these tables are in, we can go to reports and programs. We can then go on workshop safety induction, and there's 9 people currently that want to start this course. So we can have one of them from 2 till 4. And I'm just going to quickly look at the regime. So 2 till 4 is really good because that's the work time. We don't want to stop people from eating or showering, so that's really convenient, but we want to start that when it's already work time. So hopefully they will have their little induction. And all 9 of them will be taught. Just have a look at who is it. It's Pennington, Vorwax, I don't know how that's a complicated name. Hornibrook, lovely name. Hereford, Cox, this is almost a joke. Grant. Come on, move out so we can see your name. Makonaki. And then Evans and Morgan Freeman. That's probably going to be Morgan Freeman, clearly, because he's very famous for being in prison. Okay, so we've got a much bigger prison allowance now, so I may consider letting in some more prisoners. However, before that, I'm just going to go to deployment, jobs. So now these have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 10 people in each, so that's 20 people in total. However, we're going to eventually want people working in the workshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until they've all had their induction, and then it should say here, it will say qualified prisoners, and then however many qualified prisoners, and then I'll assign that many prisoners to the workshop. Now, I do want lots of people in the cleaning, cupboard and laundry, because that will keep my prison really clean and good. But something I've just noticed I need to sort out is the power. So because we've installed all these tools, they're really big power drains, or they require an absolute ton of power. So I'm just going to get some more capacitors and put a few more capacitors in. Might as well put that one in now. Put it up here. So that should just give us a bit more power, which we will need. There we go. Loads of power now. It doesn't really matter if you put too many in. It's having too little that's the problem, because you end up having power just cutting out, which you don't really want. So the path making seems to be fairly simple on this. I've noticed on some of my prisons, if you have lots of complicated paths going all around every different direction, you'll end up with prisoners just weaving their way around and not following the paths. But if you see, they go really, really quickly when they're on the actual paths, but much, much slower when they're travelling just across the grass or the dirt, whatever it is. So we are making quite a lot of money. We've got not very much else to do, really. We're just going to be playing with this workshop now and eventually making lots of money. So I've ticked everything off my list that I had to do. You can, however, go to rooms and look at what you haven't built. So I haven't built a security room. I haven't built a morgue, although you don't really need this. Kennel I haven't built. Armory haven't built. Forestry I haven't built either. And exports I'm going to need to build. So I think what I'm going to do is build... you do need an exports area. Exports area is now where you put your finished goods. So once you've finished building things in the workshop, they will get taken by either staff or prisoners and placed in the export area. The export area will then be offloaded onto trucks and sold. So I'm going to need to build an exports area. So I think I'm going to build one here. I'm also going to go to storage, and I think I'm going to change storage to be an actual room. So I'm going to put storage here. I'm going to get rid of that. And then go on foundations and put some foundations down here. So, once this is all built, I'll then make this into a storage room effectively. And hopefully that will be... I'll just put a door on the side. So I'm going to get a staff door, because I don't want prisoners going in here. I'm also going to go to materials and get a brick wall, and put a brick wall across here. As soon as that door's put in, I'm going to put this down, because I know the problems that are caused by putting down things before, putting down walls and just locking a room out so no one can get in. It's horrible, and it happens really frequently. So you can go to planning and get rid of this planned areas, these planned areas. So just gonna dismantle these lights because they're awkwardly laid out. And plumb everything in to the utilities so the cable stops there, so I'll just have it go down here. Okay, I'll also go to deployment and make sure this is staff only because we don't want any people randomly running in here. Any prisoners, sorry. Seem to slow down time. Okay, so is that plugged in now? Yes, it is. Okay, we have an awful lot of lights. I think I may go and sell quite a lot of these. or dump them, sorry, because it really is kind of pointless. Oh, something I've just realised I need to do. If you have a bin in your kitchen, they'll put all the things that they drop on the floor, so there's food waste here. Instead of just leaving that there, when the bin's placed, they'll put the garbage straight in the bin. And instead of taking each individual piece of garbage back to the garbage area, instead they'll put it all in the bin, so the chefs won't have to keep making lots of different journeys to garbage. So hopefully they'll start putting garbage in the bin as opposed to just putting it in a separate bag. Okay, so I'm going to have a quick look at grants and see if there's any grants. So we are currently training lots of prisoners. And I think they're almost finished with their talk. But we'll have a look at grants. So we've got prison maintenance. Unlock cleaning. Yeah, we'll get that. And now we need to get a gardener. So we can go to staff, and we can get a gardener, and they're going to go around and make sure and clean up all the internal dirt that will accumulate. So like all the dirt patches, so these little things. But they get a lot worse if you haven't got anyone cleaning up. That will all get cleaned up by the cleaning cupboard people, so the janitors, so these guys, but also the prisoners that are working in the cleaning cupboard. I'm just going to have a quick look in deployment and jobs. So no one's finished this thing yet, but we're going to have a quick look at some other things, because now we've got a gardener who finished that grant. So government security ratings: assign two dog handlers to a dog patrol, 2 armed guards to a patrol. I don't think I'm going to do that straight away, because I haven't got I haven't built the armory or dog kennels. Okay, so this wants us to have 3 prisoners working in the laundry room, the kitchen, and the cleaning cupboard. So we've already got these 2, so I think we're going to start this one. But we're then going to need a couple of prisoners working in the kitchens. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to deployment, jobs. I'm sorry, no I won't. I'll go to this and I'll set kitchen as shared. Now I generally don't really like doing this. And unfortunately, our kitchen isn't large enough, so I'm going to have to put some foundations down here. Now this is very risky and it may cause a bug, but I'm just going to have to increase the size of our kitchen, because at the moment we can only have two prisoners working in our kitchen. Okay, so that worked perfectly fine. So I can now go and demolish this wall. Yep, that's worked absolutely perfectly, which is really nice. So we can now increase the size of our kitchen. We're then going to want to dismantle this bin and move it a little bit. Put one back there. And we can put in a couple more cookers, I think. So that should be fine, hopefully. And now if we go back to deployment and we look at jobs, we can now have max jobs 3. So that's perfect, that's exactly what we wanted. A little bit more space, because usually you can have a huge great kitchen with loads of prisoners working there, but I generally avoid that and will end up having a small kitchen because you can just have lots of cooks working in there as opposed to lots of prisoners. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tables, each of which can hold 4. So we have 4 times 8, which is 24, 8, 16, 32. 32. So we can have 32 prisoners. So you may need more tables than that, so I'm just going to quickly put in some more benches, and that should just give us a bit more space. I'm also just going to put in the last one, I might as well. So we've got a lot more space now, just so we're ready if we need to have more prisoners in. So we can now go to Programs, Kitchen Safety and Hygiene. We can open that, and we'll have 4 people that will then have, at 2 till 4, they'll have their hygiene talk. I'm just going to go to Jobs, and I'm going to get rid of some of the people that were working in the laundry and cleaning cupboard, so we don't have all our prisoners working there, because we are going to need people to do all these safety inductions for the kitchen and the workshop. Okay, so as soon as they've finished with their inductions, I think I'll finish the episode. So it's currently 9 in the morning, and they should be at 2 o'clock in a couple of hours. They will start their induction course. So we do have enough kitchen staff at the moment, so even without these people on this talk, they will have enough. Might as well start that. We have got enough staff to produce food for all our prisoners, although we will be getting more prisoners, so I think I'm going to open our prison to more prisoners, although it does say we're getting 18 more prisoners, which is an awful lot. However, I'm still going to go with that, because we should be okay. I'll just quickly save it. And make sure I fast forward time again. But that should be okay. So you can see people are instantly getting picked up as they're leaving things. So if we go to contraband, 24 hours, we can see someone had poison, which they've stolen from the cleaning cupboard. So that is a problem. You do have people stealing poison from the cleaning cupboard. Someone stole a spoon from the kitchen, which is a little bit silly. So interestingly, he stole the poison and the spoon. So he was caught for stealing the spoon out, and because he stole the spoon, he then was caught with poison. I'm just going to finish. Well, not finish. I'm just going to put a staff door on that, just because we need one. And have a look at the workshop. Is people working the workshop? No, they're almost about to start with their working. I'll make changes around, so it's 2 hours working and then 1 hour in the yard, I think. A little bit yard time there actually, and then work here. I'm just fiddling around with this and trying to get it to look okay. So we should have prisoners that have finished their program, I think. 9 finished and 9 passed, so that's really good. So we can stop that program, because until it says however many are interested, there's not really much point spending loads of money on this course. So we've got 9 prisoners that are going to be working in the workshop. So now we can go to deployment, jobs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that should mean we have all prisoners that we want working in there. And I think that should be everything. So we'll have a look at reports. We've also got the kitchen safety, which is almost finished. They need a bit more time to, I think it's probably about another hour or about that. But everyone seems to be perfectly okay at the moment. We haven't had any riots. We had a little bit of a problem right at the beginning, but that was purely because I was silly and hadn't realised there were a couple of prisoners that were awaiting solitary confinement. But now we've got solitary all sorted. And that was fine. And there's not much else to do. I'm obviously going to keep expanding, so I don't think this is going to finish. I'm going to probably keep going until I get quite a lot of money, and then I can be satisfied I've done a good guide as to how to play Prison Architect effectively. But hopefully this has been interesting, this episode. So I'll hopefully see you in the next episode, where I'll probably be expanding, maybe building some more cell blocks and increasing our prison capacity. And hopefully we'll have lots of prisoners working, producing license plates in the workshops. So I'll hopefully see you in that episode. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please make sure you like it. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in another video. Goodbye.